All right, let's get started. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Russo's on the Bay. Welcome to the 2023 gala here for the National Police Defense Foundation. We have a great show that we're going to put on for you this evening. My name, if you don't know me already, Michael Palladino, President of the National Police Defense Foundation, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies. You know, if you're like me, then my guess is that you're tired of hearing certain politicians, segments of the media, and some of these corporations denounce the greatness of this country, the United States of America. And they denounce the greatness of our law enforcement officers in this country, the hard-working, brave men and women of law enforcement, whether you work on a local level, a state level, or if you work with the federal government in law enforcement. But this evening we got a great program for you, and we get an opportunity to honor some of those brave heroes and the men and women of law enforcement. So why don't we get started? Please rise for the entrance of the Honor Guard and the Pipe and Drum Band from the Port Authority Police of New York and New Jersey.
Honor Guard, hard-head, poof! Trail, come! Put down police, pipe and drum, America! Right, quick, hard! Forward! Boys! Forward!
Now it gives me great pleasure for Joe Acapenti to introduce his grandchildren, as we customarily do, for them to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Since the inception of the foundation, we always tried to keep family as part of it, which is one of the reasons I believe we're so successful. And I have my 6 grandchildren here who will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Great job. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce for our national anthem, the renowned tenor Arthur Lyon.
Present.
Oh, say, can you see by the God's light was so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the red beacon's light
Thank you very much. At this time, I retire the colors, please.
Part of trail colors. 49 police, pipes and drums. Mr. Boy, mark time. Letter right, quick, march. Right, pace.
All right, if you could please remain standing for a moment of silence for our sick, our departed, and for all the law enforcement souls who made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you very much. Be seated, please, and we'll get the show on the road. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone in attendance. I want to say thanks to our members, our sponsors, the people we do business with as well, for supporting this event year after year and helping us make this event a success. Before we go any further, please give a big round of applause for our founder, our executive director, Joseph Acapinti.
I want to welcome and thank all our valued members, sponsors, distinguished honorees, for attending and supporting this year's award. In the 27 years that we've been in existence, this is the largest turnout that we've had. As you know, the National Police Defense Foundation supports in the efforts of law enforcement nationwide and internationally. In fact, we have members in 12 foreign countries. We even have here today a delegation from the Italian State Police, where we have an office right out of Venice. Thank you for coming tonight and representing Italy. This year we've been very busy, the last year or so, in many avenues. Of course, legal defense. One of our big wins was Atlantic City's Detective Sterling Wheaton, who was called to a scene to help assist in the arrest. He was the K-9 officer. And the police dog did his job and took the suspect down. However, he was so intoxicated, the suspect, he picked the dog up, threw him to the ground, and started punching him. What you expect if you punch a dog. The suspect got bit. And as a result, he was charged with civil rights violations relative to the actions of his dog. In any case, it took a federal jury less than 1 hour to come back with a not guilty verdict. In the case of Safe Cop, we are the group that posts rewards when a policeman is killed. We're very honored when we got a call from Homeland Security learning about the death of a Customs Border Protection Agency who was shot in the line of duty in Puerto Rico. And we were honored to pay for the agent's funeral. So that's the kind of action. We're constantly busy, but we're there and we will continue support. We have many distinguished honorees that we'll go into detail, all of whom are well deserving of recognition. So again, thank you. Thank you for attending and supporting the foundation.
All right, our first award this evening is our Group Media in Excellence Award. And this is being presented to the Blue Magazine and their Moment of Silence program. The Blue Magazine was established by its editor, Daniel Del Valle. It has become an unfiltered and independent voice of American law enforcement officers. It is owned and operated by active and retired law enforcement professionals who recognize the inherent dangers and challenges in all aspects of law enforcement. It also aims to strengthen the bonds that bring law enforcement community together as brothers and sisters in blue. The magazine also established Moment of Silence as a nonprofit organization to support, promote, and develop programs for our law enforcement, our military, and first responder communities. One important endeavor is attempting to prevent police suicides amongst law enforcement, military personnel, and first responders. Another key endeavor is their Youth Community Outreach Program, which provides guidance, developing work employment opportunities, and education assistance, as well as developing positive relationships between youth and the law enforcement community. It is with great pride that we present the Group Media in Excellence Award to its editor, Daniel Del Valle, and his staff. Please welcome Mr. Daniel Del Valle.
Good evening. Thank you everyone who is here supporting law enforcement. We are humbled and thankful for this acknowledgement. You are very blessed. All of you are very blessed to belong to a great organization and profession. And I want to thank every professional here today and the ones that are not here for all the great representation you do to our profession. Civilians need it, and we need it. And the most important message for our charity, Moment of Silence and Blue Magazine, with media, is to make sure that your mental health is where it should be. You're never alone, never give up, and always support one another. Thank you again for everything.
Thank you very much. So our next award is the Businessperson of the Year Award. And for that presentation, I'd like to ask our Vice President, Agent Phil Scally, to present.
The Businessperson of the Year Award goes to Joni Capobianco, Chief Executive Officer of AMG Demolition. AMG Demolition, Inc. is a woman-owned business in New York specializing in demolition work for over 10 years. The company is headquartered in Melville, Long Island, New York, and has performed demolition projects throughout Long Island, New York City, and the state. AMG has taken down dozens of buildings for the DEP, and has done hundreds of interior demolition jobs for hospitals, school construction authority, Port Authority, among other noteworthy projects. Joni has put her hard work, dedication, and perseverance to build the company into a successful company that is well known and respected today. She is most proud of her 3 children who have sacrificed time with their mother growing up to have AMG Demolition Inc. built to what it is today. It's with great pride that I present National Police Defense Foundation's Businessperson of the Year Award to CEO Joni Capobianco.
Wow, what an honor to be amongst some of the greatest law enforcement in the city of New York. And I want to congratulate my fellow honorees. I want to start by thanking the men and women that put their lives on the line every day. I personally want to thank the police officers, the Port Authority police, MTA officers, who consistently watch over me and my men. That includes the housing police. I started AMG 15 years ago after the sudden death of my husband, and I was broke and I had nothing to lose, and I worked really hard just to put food on the table. Not my wildest imagination did I think that our company would grow so exponentially, and that is because of the hard work of my team, from the office staff, the project managers, the estimators, my right-hand person, Jamie Martinician, my daughter, Natalie, my son, Anthony, and of course our senior project manager, Joe Amatulli. But if it wasn't for the guys that wear the boots on the ground, working in some of the worst areas in the city of New York, trying to improve the housing authorities, the MTA train stations, subways, and schools through the School Construction Authority, we wouldn't be where we are today. I can truly say I have some of the finest and talented men in the field, performing total guts and total demolition of buildings. It takes a village, and we have one hell of a village. Most of our work is public work, and some of the areas are very dangerous, and we have had many frightening experiences with critical situations, and every time I turn around, there's always somebody in blue to protect us. I truly thank the New York Police Department. It's quite an honor to be acknowledged as the Business Person of the Year, and for the National Police Defense Foundation. The recipe is hard work, never giving up, and having good people around you. Being in an industry that is primarily men, it has not been an easy road, but I see major differences and strides in equality through the years. The city has gone through many changes and phases, and we continue to improve in all aspects. It is my goal to continue to be part of the developing communities and bettering the welfare of the people. Although challenging, it has been a great honor to work in the city of New York and to be given the opportunity to personally be part of building and growing our fine city. I've made friends, there's no competitors. They are friends, and I've learned through the years from them. I've been lucky enough to be surrounded by some of the greatest companies and to be able to work with some of the finest companies that build New York, like AECOM and like Technico, Synopta, Northstar, WDF, and many more. And I want to thank George Greco, who is my longtime friend, a true character with the heart of gold, who has through the years gotten me involved in so many organizations, sporting events, clay shoots, the Seagate Police Association. You never know with George. You wake up one morning and you're chairing an event, or you're the vice president of something. He's responsible for encouraging me to bear arms, to protect myself. He taught me how to shoot, and he's somebody very dear to me. Without the support of my family, my kids, and my husband, now I need less protection. Look at the size of him. And he has a heart that's even bigger. I could never accomplish this journey. I thank them all for standing by my side during the late nights, the days I couldn't be there, the times I didn't have the strength to listen. There were so many sacrifices that were made. So again, a successful business is built not by one person, but it's a group effort that makes a success. And I've had an amazing run, and I've been very blessed. And once again, I thank you for this recognition for all my achievements. It's heartfelt. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to invite our Executive Director, Joe Acapinti, back up for the presentation of this year's Distinguished Member Award, which is going to Dr. Robert Ghalili.
Dr. Ghalili is a successful entrepreneur and renowned oral surgeon in New York and New Jersey, who serves as our police surgeon for many years. He has been a fervent supporter of law enforcement, and his generosity to the MPDF is truly appreciated. Over the past year, his generosity is best illustrated by helping to fund the funeral of slain Border Patrol agent Michael Macetta, who was killed in a gun battle with drug traffickers in Puerto Rico. He also made a holiday donation to a very courageous senior citizen. You may have seen it on TV, when 2 Newark cops were shot, ambushed by a sniper on a rooftop. This senior citizen, while the shooting was going on, got out of her vehicle, went to a trunk, and started rendering first aid while the bullets were flying. For Dr. Ghalili also provided over the years pro bono work and assistance to the National Police Defense Foundation for its members. For example, one of our members was mauled by an attack dog, the face completely shot, all her teeth missing. Dr. Ghalili, for the last 3 months, is giving her a whole brand new set of teeth implants. We appreciate it, and you are truly well deserving of recognition. Can you please come up here, Dr. Ghalili?
Thank you so much, everybody. You know, I was very touched by the very beginning of the speech that, you know, we are, as an immigrant to this country, I came here at age 11 by myself as a political refugee and lived in the projects in Roxbury, Massachusetts, and grew up there. So I probably ran away from a lot of you guys when I was growing up, you know. But I was able to pull myself together, put my life together, and that brings us to the fact that we have a lot of political divide in our country right now, Republican, Democrat. It's really scary for me, having come to this country and become an American. I'm really proud to be an American. I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm an American. And what we have here right now, we have a tremendous political divide, and, you know, men and women of the police department that have made my family safe, our country safe, our veterans, we have a lot of veterans here tonight, who fight for our freedom every day. Unless you go to one of these countries, and one of them is where I came from, we don't understand what a great nation we live under. And we don't understand how amazing it is to have the freedoms that we have right now, to just agree to disagree. It's okay, we don't have to kill each other. And, you know, it's very sad times in our country right now that we cannot sit and talk at a table, and we cannot sit and negotiate and see. You know, it's really funny because I have a very dear friend whose husband is a major conservative. His wife is a complete liberal on the Supreme Court in Long Island. And they're my dearest friends, and they love each other. And that's how our country should be. We should not be divided. We should support the men and women who put their lives on the line, you know, for us every day. I personally, I'm doing very little. I'm not in the alley at dark night when somebody's pointing a gun at me, and we've judged that person for their reaction. You know, I do the very little that I can for our members. Is a small way to thank you guys for allowing me into your country, making me become a proud American, and repaying the debt that I have to all you guys for being here and having a success story. And I have to reflect that back as much as I can for the rest of my life. So thank you very, very much.
I'd like to call up to the stage Special Agent in charge of ATF, John DeVito, who you may recall was our honoree last year. And he would like to present, on behalf of the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, recognition, a Special Achievement Award to our silent auctioneer.
First of all, I would like to take a moment to thank all the men and women in uniform, those first responders, medical, military, that allow us this great opportunity to be here together to break bread and to celebrate all the great successes of the leaders that we have chosen for these awards. Thank you very, very much for everything you do on a daily basis to protect us and ensure our way of life. Thank you very, very much. For all the award winners, your title, your reputation, everything is well deserved. It is a great honor that you share this night with us as we celebrate your great successes and everything you do for the men and women of this country, for this great state. Everything you do is well appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Now we must all thank our benefactors who provide this night for us. The National Police Foundation, the National Police Defense Foundation, goes out of its way to serve and protect the men and women in uniform on a daily basis across this great nation of ours. They do so without asking for anything in return other than the offer of support for others in need when that need arises. I called Joe because on that horrific afternoon, especially Adam Daniels was involved in the arrest operation of a multi-convicted felon wanted for murder. During the arrest scenario, the individual opened up with a fully automatic AR-15. 50 rounds were fired, one of which struck Adam Daniels in the face, point-blank range. Adam Daniels, to this day, will never have the life that you and I all enjoyed. He'll never walk the same, he'll never talk the same, he'll never be the same. Joe, without hesitation, said, "What can I do to help?" I said, "We have to figure out some way to prepare this young man for the rest of his life because he's got a great ordeal ahead of him." Several other individuals were offering to throw a concert for this individual in Nashville. We had no background, no experience. Again, National Police Defense Foundation said, whatever we can do to help, we will do it. Without hesitation, they stepped forward and started leading the entire charge to put together this phenomenal concert series for this young man and his family. I presented Joe and his foundation an award last year when they were so greatly honored myself. I was unable to thank one of our key partners in this. Mr. Ryan Cohen and the RICO Fundraising Foundation stepped forward. For those that don't know, Ryan goes out of his way across this great nation of ours to perform fundraising events for anyone and everyone in need. Again, he does so without asking for anything in return, other than to offer his support and appreciation for the men and women in law enforcement and the military. We owe him a debt of gratitude. I owe him a gratitude. Ryan, if you can please step forward. Thank you on behalf of my agency, all the members of our law enforcement.
All right, everyone. I would ask Agent Jacob Albarado to please come up to the stage. All right, everyone, if you can give me your complete undivided attention, I think you're going to really appreciate this story. So, Agent Jacob Albarado is an agent with the U.S. Border Patrol. And I'm sure you all recall the story of the shooting at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Agent Albarado was off duty and he was getting a haircut when he received a very frantic text from his wife, who happened to be a teacher at the Uvalde school. And the text read, "Active shooter, please help, I love you." It's kind of chilling, just to and moving, this whole story. So Agent Albarado, as I said, was an agent, and he had been at the Robb Elementary School earlier in the day to attend an award ceremony for his 8-year-old daughter, who was a second grader at the school. His wife was a teacher at the school. After receiving the text from his wife and being unarmed at the time, he was able to borrow a gun from the barbershop owner. You know, you gotta love Texas. You know, you gotta love Texas. And Jacob, I will tell you, I did 41 years in the NYPD. And they frown upon when you use your own gun. God knows what they would do to one of us if we borrowed someone else's gun to use it. But anyway, a tactical team was preparing to enter the school when Agent Albarado arrived. Desperate to get his daughter and his wife out of the school, he planned with other officers to enter the school to evacuate as many students as possible. He entered the wing of the school where he knew his daughter was, and he searched for her, but began also clearing all the classes in her wing. 2 officers with guns drawn provided cover, while 2 others guided dozens of hysterical children and teachers out to safety. As he was going in the school, he could see children coming his way. So Agent Albarado helped all the kids out. Fortunately, his wife finally texted him that she was across the street at a funeral home and she was safe. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in the massacre, just days before the final day of the school year. For Agent Albarado's heroic actions that day, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent Jacob Albarado is awarded our coveted Valor Award from the National Police Defense Foundation. Please welcome this hero, Agent Jacob Albarado.
Thank y'all for having me here. I met with Joe back in September, and he's a wonderful guy, him and his wife. I've been trying to get out here since September. I try to live a busy life with my kids. Family's everything. We play baseball year round, and I stay extremely busy. That text from my wife is a text that is hard, still hard. It's something that you don't want to receive. I tried to get there as fast as I could and do as much as I could at the time. It's just like, once again, it's a text you never want to receive. Thank you for this honor, and to everyone out there in law enforcement, I tell my kids, don't get ready, stay ready. You never know what call you're gonna get, when you're gonna need to be ready for it. Thank y'all once again.
You know, as I said, I spent 41 years in the NYPD. The last 16 years, I was the president of the NYPD Detectives Union. And what I do notice, the common denominator with all police heroes, they're all very humble. As you can tell how humble this gentleman is. It was an amazing story, very moving. All right, at this time, I'd like to re-invite up our Vice President, Phil Scala, to present our Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'd like to invite up New Jersey SAC, Ricky Patel, to the stage.
The Lifetime Achievement Award, New Jersey Homeland Security SAC Special Agent in Charge, Ricky Patel. Ricky J. Patel currently serves as the Special Agent in Charge for Homeland Security Investigations in the Newark Field Office. Mr. Patel has oversight of the full spectrum of investigative activities of over 260 investigators, comprised of special agents, intelligence analysts, task force officers, and administrative personnel throughout the state of New Jersey. This includes management of personnel located in Newark, Trenton, Cherry Hill, Atlantic City, as well as among the largest seaports and airports in the United States. As a special agent in charge of Homeland Security, Newark office, SAC Patel manages all of HSI's complex federal law enforcement investigative programs related to national security and smuggling violations, including counter-proliferation, financial crime, commercial fraud, human trafficking, human smuggling, narcotics, transnational gangs, cybercrime, child exploitation, and document and benefit fraud investigation. SAC Patel possesses a master's degree in human resources management with a focus in police studies from Seton Hall University and a bachelor's degree in justice studies from Montclair State University. It is with great pride that we present National Police Defense Foundation's Lifetime Achievement Award to SAC Ricky Patel.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. It's a great honor to be here today. It's never easy being last, especially after that last presentation there. So I'm going to be brief. Joe threatened me. I had a big speech here, but I'm not going to go through it today. It truly is an honor to be amongst law enforcement and law enforcement supporters. It honestly is it's a bad pandemic, if you will. It's a terrible time in this world where law enforcement is being looked at as the negative. And I'll tell you this today, and I'll stand by this statement. There isn't anyone in this world that hates a corrupt cop more than a cop. I'll say that again. There isn't anyone in this world that hates a corrupt cop more than a cop. And that is something that we need to stand behind. I, for one, am absolutely tired of hearing about the law enforcement negativity in this world. The men and women of law enforcement get up every day and do God's work. And I mean that. They legitimately do God's work. I am briefed daily on the HSI activities that they're working on day in and day out, and all the other agencies that are out there that we work with time and time again to do the criminal work that is needed in society. And that is an honest thing. If we think about what would happen in society if we did not have law enforcement, it would be chaos. And that is something that we need to stand behind and make sure that our law enforcement personnel are thanked on a daily basis. It goes a long way to just say thank you. And for those of you that aren't law enforcement, I just want you to please take that into account and make sure that you say thank you to a cop or a law enforcement professional any chance you can, because now more than ever, they need that. I have a saying, thank you. Please, a round of applause for all law enforcement. I'm humbled to be here today to represent the men and women of HSI, but I'll tell you this right now, it takes a team. It takes all of us. I have a saying that I kind of want to coin and phrase, that it doesn't matter the shield that you carry. We're all in this together. So regardless of the shield that you carry, if you're carrying a shield, you're one of us. And if you're in New York City and you call at a 1013, I'll be sprinting to you no matter what. You call out an officer needs assistance, I will be there, and so will every law enforcement member of this office, in this crowd today. I couldn't do what I do. I'm honored today to be here. I'm with my beautiful wife who took the journey with me today. She puts up with my crap. And those of you that know me know that I'm a difficult person. So Britt, thank you for being here as well. And honestly, all of you, the most important thing, especially everyone in law enforcement, get home every night to your loved ones. Get home, get home, get home. Be safe, everybody. God bless America. God bless our military. God bless our law enforcement. God bless this organization. God bless the United States of America.
All right, everyone. For our final award is the National Police Defense Foundation's Person of the Year Award, and that is going to the President of the National Association of Police Organizations, Mick McHale. Now, President McHale is unable to be with us this evening, and we knew that when we had offered him the award. So accepting the award on his behalf, I'm going to ask him to come up to the stage right now, is the Executive Director of the National Police Association, and that is Executive Director Mr. Bill Johnson. So our honoree, Mick McHale, serves as the National President of the National Association of Police Organizations. NAPO represents about 250,000 sworn law enforcement officers in about 30 states throughout the United States. Mick is also the president of the Southwest Florida Police Benevolent Association and senior vice president of the Florida State PBA. Prior to becoming president of the National Association of Police Organizations, Mick served as the executive vice president, the recording secretary, the area vice president, and the sergeant at arms on the NAPO board. Mick has also served on several committees, including as chairman of the Committee on Political Education, where he was responsible for overseeing the evaluation and endorsement of candidates for elective office across the country. Mick began his career with Sarasota Police Department in Florida in 1990, and he serves as patrol officer as well as a narcotics detective for 10 years. Prior to being promoted to sergeant, Mick also served as a commissioner with the State of Florida Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission for a 6-year period after being appointed as a rank-and-file representative by then Governor Charlie Crist. Now, the gentleman standing behind me, well, before I go into that, just a little bit about Mick McHale. I take a little credit in Mick's elevation to President of NAPO. I served as the Vice President of the National Association of Police Organization from 2004 to 2012. And the president at the time was a fellow by the name of Tom Nee, who was the president of the Boston Patrolmen's Association. And together, Tom and I recognized that this individual, Mike McHale, had a lot of talent, and he was dedicated to the betterment of police officers across the country, not just the ones he represented in Florida. So I'd like to say that I had a little hand in Mike elevating from the Sergeant-at-Arms position. We placed him on the board as that, and now he's the president of the organization. So congratulations to him. But this gentleman behind me, in his own right, is deserving of your praise and your recognition. Mr. Bill Johnson is the executive director. He's not a sworn law enforcement officer, but he's an attorney, and he has dedicated his life to the betterment of police officers throughout this country. Now, NAPO is the premier association down in Washington, D.C. that lobbies on Capitol Hill for legislation for cops and for law enforcement. It's not an easy job. I worked side by side with Bill doing it, as I said to you, in my capacity as the vice president of NAPO. Getting legislation passed in Washington, D.C., good legislation for cops, is not easy, even when you have friends in the Senate and in the House and even in the White House. But in this climate today, this denouncing of law enforcement, the defunding of law enforcement, I can tell you, I'm sure Bill spends a phenomenal amount of time not passing good legislation, but trying to kill bad legislation that gets generated in the Houses and Congress. So without further ado, I wish you would give this gentleman, Bill Johnson, a warm welcome, because he certainly deserves it.
Thank you, Michael. And as you mentioned, first of all, I'm from a sleepy seaside, actually lakeside village, peaceful village called Chicago. So if you can't understand my accent, I'm really sorry. Mick's from Jersey City. He could communicate better with me. He could communicate better with you all. But here's what Mick would say if he was here. So, and by the way, so Michael, one of my old bosses. Thanks, Mike. Nice to see you again. Director Acipenti, Mrs. Acipenti. All right. President Palladino and Reverend chaplains and directors, officers, staff members, distinguished guests, the National Police Defense Foundation, international guests, the Italians, buonasera. Nice to see you. Mike already introduced me, and I'm proud to be able to accept this award on behalf of Mick McHale. He's my boss. He's also been my friend for almost 30 years, so I feel comfortable in sharing with you his thoughts and feelings to be recognized with such a great honor. Mick learned he was named the Foundation's Person of the Year. He was both honored and humbled, and is most pleased to accept, and only learned later that tonight, the awards dinner, he already had promised his wife, Marianne, a long-deserved vacation. It was actually a cruise that was set some time ago. It was canceled from COVID. So he's on a cruise somewhere, I don't know where it is, so you're stuck with me. However, when I asked Mick what he would have me say on his behalf, there were several points that stood out. First, humility. He's humbled to be honored in this extraordinary way, and at the same time recognizes that the efforts and successes that Mick has been a part of in defending the safety, the rights, and the working conditions of the men and women we represent is a team effort. The second is honor. Honored to represent the men and women across this country who have said yes to this noble profession, especially today when far too many politicians and celebrities so casually denigrate the sacrifice and the selflessness of those who give of themselves to serve and protect others. Third is nobility. Nobility, a sense of the deep and inherent worth and dignity of the rank and file officer. This is especially salient when one considers the efforts and the mission of the Defense Foundation itself. Fourth, and a couple different speakers have mentioned this already, is family. The recognition that law enforcement truly is a family, that what we accomplish individually and collectively is forged in the context of a brotherhood and sisterhood, which is distinct from any other civil service. Fifth is pride, justifiable pride in representing American law enforcement, that while so many in our nation who enjoy the freedoms of speech, of press, and of media abuse that freedom by falsely and deliberately demonizing the very persons who protect us all, at the same time that thousands, maybe millions of people from outside our country would give everything to come here. I got some, don't get me going on that stuff, but it's, this audience knows what we're talking about. And so to sum up, I think Mick would end by offering 4 things in return for this great honor. One is credit. Credit to the hundreds of police labor leaders that he's been blessed to work with and everything that we've been able to accomplish at the national level. 2 is honor. Honor to the thousands of unsung heroes who this very night are protecting this city and this country, giving of themselves to protect and serve in dangerous times. The 3rd is gratitude. Gratitude to the families, the spouses, the children, the parents who worry and suffer so much in supporting those they love who do this job. And finally, 4th is remembrance. Remembrance for all those who, as Abraham Lincoln wrote, have given the last full measure of devotion to serve this great nation. So on Mick's behalf, thank you so very much for this outstanding honor.
All right, everyone, that concludes our program for this evening. I'd like to just close by saying congratulations once again to our honorees, their family members, their supporters who came with us tonight. Thank you so much to our members, our sponsors, the people we do business with, and all of you out there who help make this event a success year after year. The last thing I'd like to say to our members in law enforcement, thank you for what you do every day. I don't know if you've been told lately, or maybe you were never told at all. But thank you very, very much. Be safe, and be safe going home tonight. Thank you for coming.